SongPon TV.
Hello and welcome to SongPon TV, episode number 3. I'm Ben Edwards, I'm your host of this particular SongPon TV episode, and I'll be taking you through today to teach you about one really great chord technique about power chords. Now, a lot of you have been using the Have Your Say link on the songpon.tv page and writing into me, letting me know what it is that you want the up-and-coming episodes to be, or what the particular topic you want me to cover. And of course, chords, and more in particular, power chords, have been asked about quite a few times. So today, power chords is what we're going to cover. And of course, as always, SongPon TV or SPTV is 100% free. So if you're watching this on YouTube or MySpace or anywhere else other than the songpon.tv website, welcome and thanks for watching. But you won't be able to have your say with the upcoming episodes unless you get to the songpon.tv webpage. So if you haven't been there already, I recommend that you go there right now or after this particular episode and have your say. Let me know what it is you want me to be teaching or talking about in the upcoming episodes. A tip for today, this is such an obvious one, and for many of you, you'll be already doing this without thinking, and that is great. But for those people that aren't doing this already, you need to make sure you're doing this at the start of every practice regime, whether it just be 5 or 10 minutes at home, it may be a practice or a rehearsal with a band, or even just a jam with some friends, or in particular and definitely before a performance or a show. You need to be making sure that you are tuning your guitar, or your guitar is in tune always. So obvious, yet always or often overlooked by people who are starting out. Quite often, students that come and learn, the guitar teacher will tune the guitar for them, and it will sound great during the lesson. Student takes the guitar home. At some point, the guitar gets out of tune, might be in transport, and they'll start practicing at home, and I'm wondering why it sounds so bad. Now, of course, keeping your guitar in tune is absolutely crucial to making things sound good. Of course, good playing is as well. So there's a couple of things you can do. I would recommend strongly, number one, go and buy an electronic guitar tuner from your local music store or from eBay or somewhere online. These range in price from a few dollars, literally a few dollars, right up to a few $100s for the more professional high-end models. Now, of course, just buy whatever is right for you at this particular point in time, wherever you're at with your budget and your playing. Just buy something that's going to suit you right now. Use it, learn it, know how it works, and use it daily. It will really help out your sound. That will also help train your ear, so you know when your guitar's starting to sound out of tune and when it needs to be tuned in again. Over the coming episodes, I'm actually going to teach you 2 ways in which you can tune your guitar or keep your guitar in tune without an electronic tuner. So that's the other way, but I do strongly recommend owning an electronic tuner. For the sake of a few dollars, it's well worth it. Okay, that was today's tip. Very obvious for a few of us that are already doing that. For those that aren't, make sure you do that. Keep it up. Okay, today's lesson, proudly brought to you by songpon.com, which is the great and fabulous new website where you can learn to play your favorite songs. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to look at power chords. So I'll be back in just a moment with my guitar, and we're going to look at getting your first power chord under your belt. I'll see you soon. Hi, okay, I'm just grabbed my guitar. In this case, it's an electric guitar. Now, you don't need to be doing this today's episode with an electric guitar. You can use an acoustic guitar. That is totally fine. However, for the sake of really accentuating and highlighting those power chords, that real gutsy, ballsy sound, I'm going to use this electric. This is a Gibson Les Paul Studio with twin humbuckers. Okay, power chords. Simply, power chords are, there are 2 techniques involved with how to make them work. The first technique is target strumming. Now, what I mean by target strumming is we really only want to hit 2 or 3 strings at a time. 2 or 3 strings. For example, I'll look at an A major power chord in the open position. Don't worry too much about what my finger's doing. We're just going to look at the strings that we're going to strum. The top open A string, the D string, and sometimes if you brush this G string, that's fine as well. So A, D, and G. Now, if we take a moment to look at my strumming hand, I'm playing the same A major power chord, and of course I'm using a pick or a plectrum, and I'm strumming from the A string, D string, and sometimes brushing the G. That's target strumming. So the goal there is to only strike a couple of strings now, and potentially the third. That's pretty much the same for all power chords. Easy. Okay, on to the shapes. The actual power chord shapes themselves are pretty much the same to each other as well. If we take a close look now at my fretting hand, you'll be able to see more accurately this A major power chord that I was showing you just before. A major open, we have the 3 fingers in place. A major power chord, I'm just using one finger, my very first finger, to bar across those 2 strings. The D string on the 2nd fret and the G string on the 2nd fret. With a downstroke, usually pretty sharp, pretty quick. Just hear that out there. It sounds quite ballsy and quite rocky. That's such a simple thing to do. And it's so easy, it's such an easy chord shape to remember. It's just one finger on those 2 strings. Okay, lift that up, move it up a string, move it up. So we're now pushing down the A string in the 2nd fret and the D string in the 2nd fret. We're going to make an E major power chord now. So same thing, target strumming, but this time start with the open E and just open E, A string, and sometimes the D. Pretty much the same shape. One finger. When you get a bit of rhythm in there, all of a sudden it sounds very cool and very ballsy. That sounds like tons of rock songs, tons of old school blues songs. The theory here is that if I actually made that shape with my little finger, this first finger here is acting as a bar across the 0 fret. So if I just slide that whole shape up 2 frets, so I've got my first finger now hitting the A string on the 2nd fret, and my third or my little finger pressing down and barring the D string and the G string in that 4th fret position. So third finger, I use a third, and I sometimes have my 2nd finger to come over and help push down the strings. You may find it's easier to have your pinky or your third. Either way is fine. You figure out what's right and best for you. So we've got that in that position there. Target strumming again from the A string down. That's a great ballsy sounding power chord. It's a B major power chord. Now, if you know the names of the notes on the strings up and down the neck, you'll know the names of the power chords that you will be making and forming. Take that same shape again, slide it up 1 more fret. Same shape, just sliding. There's the B, slide it up 1. That's a C major power chord. What if we do the same thing, but lift, so same position, 3rd fret, we've got first finger in the 3rd fret, 3rd finger, in this case for me, in the 5th fret. What if I lift that up and just move it up 1 string? So the 3rd finger is now not on the A string, but on the E string, and my little finger, 3rd finger is on the A and the D. You'll know that that's a G position for a G major 6 power bar chord. So the same position in our power chord shape is a G major power chord. C major, lift it up 1 string, G major. A major. Power chords sound so ballsy and they're used so often in rock songs. Okay, that's the end of the power chord lesson. Short and sweet, but that's 1 or 2 things you can pick up and start using straight away. Okay, keep up the good practice, and bye for now. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for episode 4.
SPTV, proudly brought to you by SongPond.com, where you learn to play your favorite songs.